Good evening, everyone. My name is Debbie Singleton, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I hope everyone had a great Easter. Here in Arizona, we had wonderful weather, and I had an unusual weekend, an unusual Easter. Hi, Mom. Thanks for joining. We usually host Easter, and we did not host anything this Easter. We were at home all by ourselves, all by our lonely. My daughter was extremely stressed and she didn't want to go back and forth and go here and there and be here and there. And so I said, well, I just won't stress you out anymore and I won't plan anything. So we actually stayed home and enjoyed just being home. My husband and I got up and went to sunrise service as we normally do. And so we got to actually see our old um, friend who we always see at sunrise service every Easter. And we were in a small group with her, and it was so nice to see her. It was just amazing, amazing, amazing to see her. Found out, however, that one of our other small group friends, she fell and broke her hip. So sad about that. So she's doing better, but she's still in a care center at the moment. I think she gets to go home this week sometime. So glad to hear that. So she was supposed to host Easter with my other friend because Jean Marie is single now. Her husband passed away several years ago, so she was going to have her over for Easter and everything. But anyways, so it was nice to catch up with her and just kind of see how she's doing and everything. So she's doing really well. So that's kind of nice. So we just came back and chilled, and I got ready for my live, and Milk kind of putzed around in the garage and just, so we just had a chill Sunday actually. Um, so I worked on my card and I had kind of decided the kind of card I was going to do, but I made it a different saying of a card. So instead, sorry, my nose is all crazy still. So I decided on the card. I decided on this card, but I decided I was going to send her the card, my friend that's broke her hip. So I decided to make it a get well card. So I went searching. I uh, we have a few stamps that say like get well, feel better. I don't have them in my stamp repertoire. I think this is how you say it. So I had to kind of use what I have here. So, anyways, so I put thinking of you, and on the inside, feel better real soon. Okay, because I didn't. We have some, and not very many that say get better soon or feel better or any of that. But and the few that we have, I somehow don't have those particular stamps, but we do have a few of those. So that's the saying that I wanted. I was going to make this card, but I was going to make it a different saying. But I'm going to send this card to her. So I thought this would be perfect. So you can make the saying whatever you want. You can make it happy birthday, hey you. Of course, you can make the saying whatever you want because it'll be your card. So I saw this, and this lady made this card, and so I thought that I would. She made it, of course, with different paper, and you can make it with any DSP paper you want, designer paper, series paper you want. She made it with this stamp set. So when I pulled this out, and our colors are, we are doing a color refresh, and so we have eliminated lots of colors. I brought in some new colors, but I don't have them yet. So I just pulled out some colors, and I pulled out a DSP because we have a bunch. So I'm using colors that are going away and paper that's going away, but we do have some new beautiful stuff that's coming out, and I will be getting some in soon. So, of course, because I love this paper, I have so much of it because it's spring. So I'm just gonna keep using it, even though it's gonna be retired, because this designer series paper is the paper that's in the Dandy Designs, and I love it. And this green paper is mint macaron. it's going away. Now what they do is they do bring in different brands and different colors. So, I mean, we are going to have a bunch of new colors. We're going to have as many as they take away, they bring in. So, I mean, we're going to have different ones. But I just thought these color schemes went so pretty together too. So the stamps that we're going to use is, and I don't know if this stamp set is carrying over. I forgot to look to see. Sometimes they carry over some of the stamp sets that are in the mini catalog, and I forgot to see if this is one that's carrying over. So we're using the brushed bouquet, and it comes with the die set, so it does cut out this flower, and actually it cuts out all of these flowers, which is kind of nice. And then I used a couple other. Like I said, I just pulled out a couple of stamp sets to make the sayings. I just kind of went through my whole stamp sets to decide which stamp sets I wanted. So, but anyways, I thought this was a fun card. So it's kind of a fun fold, which is kind of fun. I liked how she did that. So now I'm on the second card. I know, no purple, huh? I could have used purple though, but I decided not to. I'm trying to and they are bringing in a new purple. Well, it's kind of a pinkish purple. So when I was going, I went through all my colors and pulled out all the colors that they are getting rid of. And I was like, oh, we actually do still have a whole bunch of purples that I guess I still could use, huh? So I thought that this card was kind of plain. I put it together and I thought it was kind of plain. So I decided that I wanted to put the DSP on the top and the bottom. I'm going to kind of show you what I mean. So on the card we're going to make tonight, we're going to do that. And I didn't scooch this over. Seriously? This way? No, not? There we go. Okay, so I just thought this top part was plain. I guess you could leave it plain. I mean, I mean, it looks fine too. So what I decided to do is I cut out this to match this. And so I'm going to put it together and see if that looks good too. I don't know. So anyways, so, all right. So you need two, let's start. So I put it on, I also thought too. So another thought. So I put this on a white piece. So I think I'm going to put it on this. You can barely see it, but it does make a difference. I think I'm going to put it on a color piece too. So I'm going to try that too. So instead of it being the back piece being a white, I'm going to put it on a color piece and see how that works. So this back piece that this is 5.5 by 4.25. So that's going to what this is going to sit on. So this is, did we decide this was, I think it's Blushing Bride. I always get these two pinks mixed up. Petal Pink, that's what it is. This is Petal Pink. All right, so the Petal Pink, and that's what this is going to sit on. That's 5.5 by 4.25. So we'll set that aside. And I cut out a thick white. For the inside, we have 5.125 by 3 7/8, and we're going to stamp on that. But the card part that folds, it's 11 by 4 1/8. So we're going to fold that, and we're going to fold it in. And for some reason, mine overlaps, and hers didn't seem like it overlapped, but maybe it's supposed to. But it still works, and it still looks good. So I'm going to go with it. As long as your one overlaps on the top. So yeah, so this is gonna overlap on the top because this other piece is gonna go on there. So this piece, if you want to cut out so that it measures, you can, or just get a scrap piece of basic white. And then I cut out from the Stylish Shapes, which I will just set as well. So the Stylish Shapes These are so awesome. I use this a lot because I like to cut out my little sentiments. But I used this large square one. So if you just get a scrap piece of white and then you put that on and then run it through your die machine, you don't have to cut out a piece, this piece of square, and then you don't have to measure it. But if you want to, it's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then that'll fit on there. But I just cut out I just went in my scrap bin, and I mean, I always have scraps of white. So this is what we're gonna, and then it's, you can see that this is the stitch side. We're going to use that side. And we're going to also stamp on there. And then the two pieces that are going to go on this front panel and this panel, so those are 4 by 2 5/8. And you know, you could use that side, but I like this side because it's that same pink that we're going to use here. So let's do some stamping. And I already cut out I already stamped. So I stamped, this is the stamp we're going to use. It's called two stamping, which is really awesome. So you have the stamp that has a lot of the detail, and then the stamp that goes on the inside, which gives it even more detail. And you'll see that when we start doing this. And so I already stamped this and then stamped it again and then die cut it. And the die cut out almost everything. So we have this, we have the leaves, we have the two, we have almost all the flowers that it'll die cut. So it's really nice. And so we're going to do some stamping. And so I already cut this out because we're gonna puff that up like so. I'm going to puff that up and make it kind of fun. But on the inside, I also wanted to do some stamping, and so I thought that would be so much fun. So we're going to use our, we're going to use our petal pink, and we're going to stamp the flower. And what I did was I stamped the little flowers. The little flowers are the same. So, and it doesn't really matter if you do the one that is the inside or the outside, however you want to do it. And some people stamp off, like this is the outside, and that'll be the inside. Some people stamp off and then use that one and makes it darker, however you want to do it. I did full strength. Sometimes if you're doing two different colors, you want to stamp off and then do the stamp on. But this one is a light color. When you stamp it, and then stamp this, and there's a way to line it up, only I can't tell. I did when I was doing this. You look at it, you'll be able to kind of tell when you, this one there definitely is, but it really won't matter. You're just filling it in, and you probably can't tell on screen, but you're basically filling it in. So when I stamp this, stamp this one kind of off. See the difference? So this one, it's not, petals aren't all filled in, but this one isn't. And you can leave it. If you don't want to stamp it all in and leave it, you can do that too, which also looks kind of nice as well. So, you know, you can do however you want to do that, you know. This one up here, kind of stamped it different. So, I mean, that looks kind of nice as well, you know, so maybe it hasn't bloomed all the way, you know. It all depends on how you want to. I'm going to leave that one. That one kind of looks nice. So there's also a middle to these, and I didn't put the middle in my other one either. No, I did not. And and I didn't get the middle out. So I'm not going to put the middle in. Let's see, let's do green. So I did green leaves, and I did it in the mint macaron, and just so it all matches. But you could, we have a million greens. You could use whatever green you want. It really doesn't matter. Okay, and then I stamped a big one up here in the corner. Oh, and I put that away. So let's open that back up because we're going to still use it on that one. All right, so on the big one, there's kind of like a little edge, the leaf over here. That's how I lined it up. You'll be able to see it on the other one too. That's how I line it up. So I want this to kind of sit sideways. I didn't give this one any leaves. And this will this little edge will line up with that little edge. And being that they're clear, you can kind of see that. Can I go in there? And again, it doesn't, you'll be able to see. Made that one lighter, but that's okay. All right, so now that one is going to sit over here for a minute. All right, and then we're going to do this one. So I did the green again. This is going to be our leaf, basically. Okay, and then I did the big flower. Should have made it more at an angle. And then I did the little flower. See, now this one I did backwards. I did the insides first. So now I'm going to have to do the outsides. Outside. So now you can tell. It's an outside. There's the outside. There we go. Now it's finished. Okay. Now, okay. So now I'm going to put these, I'm going to glue these on first. I'm going to glue both of them. Right, so there's going to be, okay. So that's going to go up like that. Like that. So now I can do this one. Easier if I open it up than try to glue it on. It's easier for me anyways. Each panel is a little bit different, and I cut them the same. So each panel is a different size, but I cut these DSP the same. So you can cut them differently, but it was just easier. I just cut them the same. I don't have to make them different. Still will be fine. All right. Now, I want to stamp the inside, but if I mess up, I want to have a different piece of paper. So I'm going to just lay this in here. I'm going to ink up my inside. I'm going to use my black memento. So I'm going to ink this up. I always turn this, I don't know. Looks good. Can't tell the difference on the little. Yeah, so the little flowers, so when you first stamp it, when I first stamped it, it wasn't as like all flowery. So when I put the second little stamp on, then you could tell that it was filled in. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. So if you didn't want to, you didn't have to. All right, so I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to kind of line it up how I want it to go. And then I'm going to put this little flap. See, I just got black all over. And now I have black on my piece everywhere. Gosh darn it. So I always turn my stamp over to see if it's stamped enough, and I have it inked enough, and I do. So actually, good. This is going to go right over my little smudge. I don't want it down there, but I want it kind of right about here. So maybe there we go. That almost covers my smudge. I would have probably put it down here a little bit more, but I want it to kind of cover my little smudgy issue that I have. So that'll work. I should clean that off because that's how come I got all smudgy all over me. Oops, I need it one more time. So now that that is about where I want to put it, I'm going to glue that in. You usually kind of go side to side, top to bottom, just to kind of try to make it as even as I can. I don't have any more smudges on me. All right. I'll let that dry for just a minute so that I wouldn't smudge it. All right, so that's good. I got spongy, but that's okay because we're going to cover that up. So that should be okay. All right, so now I want to stamp. So I cut this little strip, and I cut it about a half an inch. I cut it about half an inch this way, and out of scraps. Again, I just use scraps. So just because I think I made this other one too fat, so I didn't want it to be fat again. So see, I don't have it quite enough. See, there we go. All right, so I want to give myself, see, I don't know that I made this one tall enough. Let's see. Yep, I did. Okay, good. All right, so now we're going to cover that. I don't have any more. See, yes, I do. Okay. So then I thought we had this really awesome label punch, and it has like this little squiggy down here. Let's see if I have enough room to do this. So if you don't, there's a little trick. All right, so yeah. Okay. I don't want it to be this long, so I'm gonna cut it off and then do it. All right, so take this. All right, so this is gonna be too short to go in here, so I just took like a piece of Post-it and I'm gonna put this in here so I can pull it back out. And I want to be able to see this in here. Right, maybe. There we go. Ooh, I almost did it too little. All right. Almost didn't give myself enough room to punch it. Try this one. Yeah, cut it right on the edge. And this one will probably be right on the edge as well. So let's see what we can do. Yep, right on the edge. Okay. There we go. But now this time it's a lot shorter. I mean, it's a lot thinner. So I think that'll work so much better. All right. So now we are ready to pop this on. I did my dimensionals. I have my dimensionals. Situate those right. So I don't like how that's going to lay. All right. So I want to, I probably didn't have to double do that, but I am going to want some of this to show. So I'm going to kind of not put it over exactly. So it's going to like peek through. And then we're going to put this on here. And so I'm not going to glue the whole thing. So I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to put on glue. Little trick. It's going to kind of tell me about where I want to keep my glue. Yep. Okay. Oops. There we go. Now, what I did was I also, now that I made this thinner, I might have to use my loop. What I did is I used these little edges to put on there because I kind of let it hang over, but I wanted it to pop up a little bit. Oops, I almost put it upside down. Yes, that's so much better. Okay, because I got it thinner. So now you'll be able to see my little, so then I use these Milky Dots. That's why I didn't do them centers, but I didn't want to put dots in the inside because they're too much. So I use these little ones, but I'm gonna put little ones work better. Little ones are perfect size. And then it gives it just enough of it's just enough. You can tell I use those colors more. Right. And now we're going to put this on the back of this so that it'll be just a little bit stronger and go in the envelope. I mean, it would be fine if you didn't, but then it just looks, it'll give it a little bit more. Okay, so. And you can barely see it, but it's just enough. And I think that putting it with the color rather than white, I put this color, so maybe that makes a difference. I should have probably put the white now. Maybe the white would have popped. But, so this is the card that I made earlier, and then this is the card we made tonight. But I definitely like putting that smaller, shrinking that, because then you can definitely see that. But, so, that's our card for tonight. It's in the way, what's it doing? So I hope you liked it and enjoyed that. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter if you just leave this blank up here. I mean, that looks just as nice as that does. I mean, either way they pop. So either way, you know, it probably would have been fine if I left that. Then it would have popped with me putting the pink card behind it. So anyways, I will talk to you later. If you need anything, let me know. I should have my book from Stampin' Up. I can't show you the inside, but I can show you the outside. And then I should have some of my colors hopefully next week. And I can show you some of the new colors that are coming out, which is super exciting. I haven't ordered any of the new products yet, but I should have that also coming up soon. So if you need anything, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you next week. Have a great week. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.